I would like to welcome you to our message for the hour. I would like to share with you this article from www.times-prophecy.org. But before I do, I would like us to pray. Father in heaven, I thank you so much for your Sabbath, and thank you for the rest you have given to us as we worship you, the only true God, and your Son, Jesus Christ. May we be sanctified by your truth, by your blessings, and by your message today. I pray this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. You can access this through the website that I will share the link below. Club of Rome, the Vatican, and the climate agenda. In 1991, the Club of Rome, a group of elite individuals, or otherwise the think tank for the Vatican, published a book called The First Global Revolution. In that book, they admitted to inventing the climate change agenda as a common enemy of mankind. In order to unite the world, take a look at the following statement from the 1991 book. In searching for a common enemy against whom we can unite, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. In their totality and in their interactions, these phenomena do constitute a common threat which must be confronted by everyone together. The First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome, page 75. The book or the report looks like this on your screen on your left. As you can see from the or from your right, as you can see from the above quote, the Club of Rome admitted to coming up with the idea that global warming, now called climate change, because facts prove the earth isn't warming as they said it would, could be used as a common enemy to unite the world together. As stated in the book, they clearly had a plan to try and unite the world, and a common enemy would be needed to fulfill this plan. It would seem that man and woman need a common motivation, namely a common adversary against whom they can organize themselves and act together. The First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome, page 70. So this has been in the pipeline for many years, but obviously they needed to slowly but surely convert people to this idea that the planets faced such a threat and that the world needed to unite in order to change the world and save the planet. And what was the result of mankind organizing itself to act together in times past? The Tower of Babel. And what was the common threat at that time? The fear of another global disaster. The unbelieving consulted among themselves and agreed to separate from the faithful, whose righteous lives were a continual restraint upon their wicked course. They journeyed a distance from them and selected a large plain wherein to dwell. They built them a city and then conceived the idea of building a large tower to reach into the clouds, that they might dwell together in the city and tower and be no more scattered. They reasoned that they would secure themselves in case of another flood, for they would build their tower to a much greater height than the waters prevailed in the time of the flood. And all the world would honor them, and they would be as gods and rule over the people. This tower was calculated to exalt its builders and was designed to turn the attention of others who should live upon the earth from God to join with them in their idolatry. Ellen G. White, The Spirit of Prophecy, Volume 1, page 91. As you reread the quote above concerning the Tower of Babel, and compare it to what we are going to in the world, what we have going on in the world today, they conceive an agenda to dwell together. That means ecumenical movement or ecumenism. They wanted to secure themselves in case of another flood, climate change agenda. They would be as gods and rule over the people, Babylon, and tower was designed to turn the attention of the people from God to idol worship, Sunday law, and the worship of the Trinity. The common enemy during the time when man came together to build the Tower of Babel was the fear of another global ecological disaster and being scattered, so that the people united to build a tower that would reach upon unto heaven in order to save themselves from another disaster. Genesis 11, verse 4. They said, let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth, the whole earth. Genesis 11, verse 4. They weren't interested in God's will. They just wanted to be all united together, or to make a name for themselves and secure their own future against this threat. This is the character of Satan, the one who wanted to make a name for himself. Isaiah 14, verses 13 to 14. Do we see this happening again today? Of course, yes. Common enemies have been created by Satan and his elite in this world in order to unite the people together, causing them to turn from God and join together in idol worship. Instead of trusting the Lord, the people are being deceived into coming together upon common values to help save the planet. God's will is rejected and replaced by common, universal human values, or what we call humanism. Can we speak today of universal human values that would be common to all the inhabitants of the planet, despite the diversity of their cultures? These questions are not easy to answer, and yet they are what our future depends on. A global society can hardly be possible without being based on common or compatible values that will shape attitudes. The First Global Revolution report by the Council of the Club of Rome, page 150. There is nothing of Jesus Christ in this. There is nothing of seeking God's will. This is the second Tower of Babel being erected in order to unite, control humanity for the common good, to secure their own future in this world. And Satan is the one behind it all. There is no doubt that the Club of Rome and the Vatican are connected. In the press release back in 2015, referencing the Pope's climate encyclical, the Club of Rome stated, the Pope makes points that are indistinguishable from those that the Club of Rome has been making for years. And why is this called the Club of Rome? In the prophecy of Daniel 2, when with Nebuchadnezzar's image, we found that the iron of Rome continued into defeat and will continue to influence the divided world until Jesus returns. So is the Club of Rome a kind of think tank for the papacy, adding that papal beast system in bringing the world under its subjection as per Revelation 13? It certainly looks that way. So what is the goal of all this? Well, for a long time, the Vatican had wanted its false Sabbath Sunday Sunday Sabbath to be enforced around the world, that mark of the beast in fulfillment of Revelation 13. The Vatican has tried brute force in times past to gain control of the world and enforce its dogmas. But that only exposed the papacy as to who its master is, Satan. So now, after hundreds of years of scheming, the Papal Church of Rome has invented other ways of enforcing its dogmas upon the world: deception, bring about a common enemy, deceive the people of the world into thinking that their future is at risk if they don't unite against the common enemy and work together to solve it. And what better way to help so-called climate change than to shut down one day every week to help save humanity? Thus, the Vatican's long-awaited Sunday law can be put into effect. Now, did you know that Revelation 13, verse 12 says that America, the two-horned beast, will cause not just the people, but the earth to worship the papacy? And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. How do you get the earth to worship the papacy? By giving the land a Sunday rest through climate change policy. There are a number of common entities today that the papacy is uniting the world against. The climate agenda is one, but the other common enemies like extremism, terrorism are being used to unite the world together, and thus another Tower of Babel is being erected to secure mankind against these common enemies and unite the world under a common cause. But this will end up failing, just the original tower failed. The world is being deceived into uniting in their common cause, but this will turn the world against God and cause the world to join the idolatry of Rome. Please heed God's warning, friends. Do not follow men, follow Jesus Christ, as he alone can secure our future. Revelation chapter 14, verse 9 to 12. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image. And whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Friends, be aware of the third angel's message. The enemy of God is upon us. He is the Antichrist, the lawbreaker, the seducer of people, the unifier of the wicked against the few who are righteous. May God continue to bless you and keep you.